If you give the mind power over the body, then your body is going to respond to fear only. The truth about the human existence here is that there's 3 dimensions, and I figured out it's mind, body, mind. Capital M representing outer space. Or no, wait, it could be the other way around. I'm still trying to see what it is, but it can actually just be flipped either way. No matter what, the body is always in the middle, that is the presence. You are present in the body. You can't get out of that. If you're watching this, when you are home, you are in the body. And it's not a mental experience. When you're meditating, you're saying you're home. You can do a focus thing. You can focus on your breath, and the whole point of that is that you know, you don't have an ocean to sit next to. Like you sit on the sand and you just watch the waves coming in and out. But that's what you're supposed to be doing with your breath. You can control it after a while, but it's the moment you stop controlling it and you realize this thing does itself. I don't even have to think about it. The sitting and breathing meditation is one of the most complicated forms of meditation. I mean, people beyond the age 65 are known to do this, and there's a lot more going on with just sitting and breathing. I'm going to that school and learning how powerful you can be, knowing that just your breath is all you need. And there's other stuff I'll get into that as far as how we live in accordance to having meditated so much and gone beyond mind so much that you're in the mind of God, and now you are a superpower that it's kind of dangerous. But let me get back to getting this right. You know, talking about it. It's that conversation is called Buddhism, which says, by the way, we already know for 5,000 years, mind and illness are synonymous, especially if it's left unseen of its own truth. It will never see any other truth but its own, like I say, fear-based. Really what it's rooted in is just trying to stay more alive after a while than the truth in reality itself. And that becomes a real problem, compounding. I had just mentioned, you know, to somebody, mainly in men. This starts because the mother doesn't, there's a, now this is what I really wanted to clarify is that psychology, you can look it up. Look up Sam Vaknin, and he's kind of on it, but the problem that he has is he's a man, he's a narcissist. I hate to be biased, but we're looking at an organism. One of them has the intelligence already installed. She's the woman because she comes out of the woman's womb. And whether the mother thinks she has to teach them or not, I mean, to communicate about periods and stuff, really isn't mattering. She's getting all of the information already about emotions and everything. It's a kind of an automatic. You can imagine the boy isn't anywhere near his physiological intelligence and his world if he's just born inside from the mother and coming out and then sitting there with her. This is what's not known, well known, but you know, you have to, women have to, not gently either, this is kind of profoundly almost disturbing. Women have to push the little boy away into the man's world and tell him, stop clinging, I'm not a dispensary. She has to make sure that she makes herself known as a person that is very different from him, and he has to go out and find who he is, his world, his intelligence. If there's a problem with a woman who can't do that, and she's actually doing, a lot of them are not perfect, right? How would they know this? Especially if they had a narcissist, they didn't know love, they were all fantasizing about who each other is, and it's like, did you get into reality first and experience something for at least 2.5 years? That's just the truth. You don't know who each other is until you spent that much time being intimate. You can be friends for 2.5 years or more, and then you get intimate, and there's another 2.5-year period that you need to allow for a whole year of fake stuff and fumbling around, and then a whole year of actually saying, no, oh my God, this is amazing what we have. I love you. And then the next is like, if it's, you just make sure, yeah, I can handle you for a long time. I love you. It's a process that happens naturally, actually. Narcissists don't know anything about it. You can hear them talking, and they say, my relationship. They always talk about their relationship terribly, about their partner. It's always their fault, right? And they're always an asshole. It's like, wow, that's me next, huh? Okay, you're an idiot. But their relationships last 2 weeks. 2 weeks, big old thing, man. We were together, and then now we're apart. And it's like, babes, you didn't even fucking start to move into the reality of reality in order to see the truth. And that's probably why you broke up, is because after a while that needs to seep in. And by the time for narcissists all of that comes in, it's like, game changer, not forget that. Reality and the truth, fuck, I can't handle this. I gotta go and drink a beer. I don't know if I got my point across, but there's something called the dead woman. And don't look at me, babes. Psychology and what we know, it's kind of disturbing. You have to sit through it and like, brace yourself. Like, what? Yeah, it's the profound, grotesque side of unconscious people trying to get a roll on with each other, and the result is just a staggeringly, profoundly poor human civilization, if at all a human civilization emerges out of it. You see, in psychology, and even law enforcement knows this, and I think it might be commonly known, but they're not telling us this. There is a non-human entity. There's non-humans. They have so many human qualities missing that they aren't considered human. Now, unfortunately, I keep repeating this, but I think somebody's going to come on my video and look and see who I am and whatever, and you have no idea who I am. You don't know who anybody is until you know who you are. Anyway, let's look at the statistics that psychological studies have just kept logging in, and they say, well, gosh, men seem to have a problem with this. Now, it was in the 1990s, and I'm going to wrap this up, that finally women started showing narcissism, which is just the full-on encapsulation of the mind. They're going to imagine who you are, and they have an ideal, and that's a snapshot. It's called a snapshot, and then these people are big on putting pictures up and say, look, there we are. We did this and that. And it's like, do you realize your relationship sucks, though? Right here, right now, I'm sensing bad communications. Your marriage is in trouble. And it's like, no, look at this marriage. They're really big on marriages. Anyway, let's get back to love. The people that don't know how to love hide in marriages. These are narcissists doing this. You're just joining me? Hello? It's a harsh reality to look into what's really going on, but there is plenty of statistical log-ins ever since the advent of the pseudoscience of psychology. Pseudo because it's trying to find out about something that is non-existential. We can't poke it with a fork. Where is the mind? I don't know. We're just looking at behaviors. Anyway, let's get back to the complications of the first dimension, which is the mind. The fully encapsulated mind, if a woman is found to be this way, it's an automatic that she is a psychopath. And here's why. It's because she's in a position of power to have children and to be under so-called control of other people, right? And that, as a narcissist, becomes psychopath because they don't care. They'll have kids and just think that it's for their use, and it's abuse to them because they'll never let them have themselves. These kids, it's a subtle thing. You will never know that you have a psychopath with a couple kids. They get nothing but merit and worshipped and stuff. And great! This is like one of the things that narcissist women Could, may, might be. I've seen it. You know, they're thinking, I've got it. I don't want to be left alone here. A lot of them, they do have problem with their relationships because why? Well, we're not all perfect. The narcissism in women, it's called histrionic, really. There isn't that unless now if they are narcissists, they're very successful and they're psychopaths too, and they're directing a fucking circus around them. A lot of them, you know, they just want that attention, so they're the center and they are controlling now. And you better watch out because narcissism, the only graduation with that little encapsulated sadness. I mean, it's not psychopathy necessarily, but just narcissism in and of itself. With a woman, it's psychopathy, but then what it will graduate into, what a narcissist, basically, this is what is going on with the mechanism. Their advancement in evolution is sadomasochism. So now, we saw a lot of that on with the announcement of the C-19. It really exacerbated the narcissists out there who they're in fully encapsulated in the mind. So you can pretty much, you know, this is the same with men. Is it like you can? It's fucked up because first of all, words aren't reality. There's a religion out there that says, you know, everything was built on the word. It's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's built on math. You want to look at geometry. But let's get back to the fully encapsulated mind who anyway, we need to straighten all this out because there's a philosophy that comes directly out of the mind that says, me, I, look at me, make sure you chase these positive and negative thoughts around. Try and keep sprucing up the quality of a fucking junk room. It's like, really, are you going to ever put your awareness into reality? Did you know that reality and awareness are synonyms? These are just words that you're completely, like the atheist. They're like, I don't believe in God. It's like, well, did you know that these are just words? Do you think that there's another word for God that maybe, have you tried the truth on lately? I don't know. I hope somebody learns something from this.